Hi world. Hitting the record button. Not sure if anybody's ever going to see this video, but I just have to kind of, speak all the thoughts that are in my head out and get them out of my system in this way. It always helps me somehow to record myself. So that's what I'm doing here. And, I am coming to an end of 2022. A year I was very much looking forward to because I love 22. Like, I love this number. But honestly, it has been a hell of a year. And honestly, it has been 3 hell of a years. No, you cannot say that, but and I know I'm by far not the only one. Because since the start of the pandemic, I think so much has changed of the face on earth, how people think, how people act, what people feel. It has impacted us in all kinds of different ways. And maybe there are people who are totally unimpacted by it. Good for them. And maybe also not, because I don't think all the things that I have learned in the past 3 years have been bad. Absolutely not. I have learned a lot and I grew a lot. And, but I also see where I have kind of overdone it, in the sense of, like we have a saying in Swiss. I'm Swiss, by the way, for the people who didn't know that. And also here in the Netherlands, where I live with my husband, we have a saying that to throw out the kid with a bath. I don't think that this exists in America or England or anywhere English speaking, in any English speaking country, but actually means that you kind of throw out the good with the bad. The thing that you want to get rid of, you kind of throw with it. You also throw out the good things that you actually want to keep. And what I definitely did throw out in 2020 is the trust. I lost so much trust, into, like, it's not that I always believed everything the media said or what people, the government said or whatever. I always had my doubts, but I'm in general, I have been or used to be a very easily trusting person. And if people said it was like that, I always trusted that they come from their highest, integer place in a way. I'm a person who trusted in the good in people, and I still do, or I'm relearning that. And in 2020, so many things happened, and especially also in 2021, where I just kind of, I always had a lot of warrior energy within me, but I think it kind of amped up over these past years, where I had the feeling, oh my God, I really have to stand my ground to to just live my life the way I wanted to live, and make decisions based on what's true to me. And I'm like such a defender of free choice, and everybody has the choice to make their decisions for their own bodies, for their own health, wealth, whatever, well-being, and just having this belief cost me great relationships. One of my best friends, for example. And of course, this relationship already has been unstable for a couple of years for other incidents, but it kind of brought, it was a tipping point to see it just doesn't work anymore. If a person that I have in my inner circle that believes so, or thinks that I'm a bad person, or that I'm an ego person, it just doesn't work for me. And we had to go separate ways, which is okay. Of course, it was very, very painful. And I just saw how much this cost me to be true to myself. I always, had, walked my own path and did the things I wanted to do. And they were mostly not very, I used to be an actress, right? I went to acting school, and acting was my big love for a huge chunk of my life. This was my dream. This was my destiny, And of course, if you walk the path of an artist, you always are kind of, you walk the more unwalked paths, and you go to places also internally where other people never might go to. So I was used to that, but really 2020 really amped that up. And so feeling also that people I really loved and I thought that knew me kind of turned against me, or I felt like this happened. from my perspective. Of course, you would have to talk to them to see their perspective. It was really painful. And I just saw how I, started to distrust, or distrust more and more, and trust less. Anything, actually. And that's when I say I did too much of it. I started how I didn't trust anything anymore, and also how I turned distrust even against my body. And I also was struggling health-wise a lot these past 2 years. Things like my migraines with aura came back. I didn't have these migraines for, I think for a decade. I didn't have them. It's like really when it's not even about headaches. It's really about when you all of a sudden cannot see partially anymore, and then you can't feel parts of your body anymore, and then you cannot really breathe anymore. It's like really you kind of get paralyzed partially for a while, and then you really have to get that checked out. I first had that when I was about 16 years old, and then I was diagnosed with migraines with aura, blah blah blah. Can come from stress, can come from all kinds of things, and it's not a coincidence that I had them back in 2021. When I had the feeling the whole world was against me, and I felt like I was in this constant fight and flight stand, being on, like, having made a choice for myself that was not the most popular one, and that was not the one that the government wanted for me. And I saw what kind of a toll this take on my health, and how I constantly, being in this warrior energy really, like activated my nervous system already, kind of, it's my weak spot, my nervous system. So, yeah, and I had other things. I had also eye migraines, that you just partially don't see anything anymore. I had issues with my belly. I'm looking into these things, what's exactly happening there with my stomach. And I had anxiety that came back, anxiety that I didn't have for a long time came back. And it makes total sense. Like, it's count 1 and 1, it's 2, right? Plus I had also COVID twice, and I think twice, certainly once 100%, second time, or the first time actually I'm not 100% sure, because the kids had tested positive, we didn't, but we had all the symptoms. And I could see how also this kind of just fully hit on my nerves, my whole nervous system, how I was suffering. And yeah, I had all this anxiety in my body, and I'm just so grateful to homeopathy, to have a friend who is a homeopathist. Sandra, this is for you. Thank you so much for your support during these years, actually, that I really relied on this kind of medicine, and it really helped me so much. Yeah, but what I really found myself this year is really a bit lost. I felt myself lost. Everything that I thought mattered to me didn't matter so much anymore. While the business was tripling, exploding in 2021, this year it kind of went down. I didn't really feel the joy anymore. No, that's not true. I'd always love to work with clients, but to put myself out there, marketing, all these things. There was so much noise on social media. Also, just going out there, this whole cancel culture, not being able to share anything anymore without being hit on the fingers, or this you cannot say, or this should not be done, and so many extremely strong opinions. And yeah, my nervous system couldn't take it anymore. So, well, I really felt like being on social media just drains the out of me. And I also felt, okay, I'm feeling called to something new. I need to, before I'm going out there again, I need to find myself again. I need to know, who am I? And through that process, I also realized how much, of unprocessed things still were in my system, also of me, what happened before 2020, when I moved from Switzerland to the Netherlands, when I fell in love with Bas, who was still married at that time, like going with him through the divorce, being the scapegoat for everything ever happened in any marriage, and every cheater that like, even though Bas didn't cheat, and when we met, he immediately chose me and filed for divorce. I mean, like, there's so much got projected on me, and I was really the asshole of the nation. People wanted to kill me. People wanted me to burn in hell. And I don't talk about the private part, because as you can imagine, it also has been a very taxing for, just everything that happened here in this family, how hard it was for everybody involved, all these things, me becoming a stepmom overnight. Yeah, like also in the beginning, you know, fully stepping in while Bas was still working as a teacher, me being from one day to the other, you know, responsible for 2 small kids, bringing them to school, fixing them dinner, you know, all the things that a mom does without all the hormones, with all the preparation, just okay, without even speaking their language properly in the beginning. This all just came rushing in again, and I felt okay, there's still, I even did a lot of therapy, or a lot, I just did therapy on it and coaching, but I felt, oh, all the, you know, the trigger points came up again, also where I felt, okay, where am I in this system, where am I in this whole, you know, place, this country that I moved to, and if this family, in this house that I moved in, where Bas used to live with his old system. And there's just so many puzzle pieces that surfaced again, where maybe I thought I had worked through, but I didn't wholly or fully. And I really felt like, okay, I need to change something. I need to do something about this. I want to know again who I am. I want to feel my core strength. I want to trust life again. I want to trust myself again, my body again, my health again. So yeah, I have stepped on a massive path of healing, and I am still, like, I also have enrolled, I did something crazy. I've enrolled in a year-long education to becoming a priestess. And this sounds crazy to somebody, might sound crazy to some people, to others it's like, of course she's doing that, because in the end it's the work that I already have been doing. I have been leading women's circles, I have been doing rituals, I even have been marrying people in the past, you know, in an alternative way. I have done so many things in this direction, but I really feel like it's not for other people that I'm doing this education now. It's really about myself, because I really feel the world has changed so massively within and without, because it's hermetic law, right? As within, so without, and as so without, so within, as above, so below. I really feel I need to find myself again. I need to find myself on a whole deeper level. And I really have this deep, deep craving to, you know, also take some women with me to lead them back to themselves, because I know this is what I'm really, really good at. I have been doing this for 10 years now, supporting women in coming back home to themselves and to, you know, reconnecting to them. And while I've been doing it for other people, I have not been doing it the way I should have been doing it with myself. And I need to catch up again to really be in this intimate place with myself, to really be there. I have sat with myself through all the darkness, you know. I know how to do shadow work, and I've been doing a lot of these things. But I really feel like I need a container. And I think everybody needs a container, like a sacred sisterhood in a way, to find this way back home. Because I cannot do it. I can do it for myself up to a certain point, but now I feel like to really get to the juicy spot, I need somebody who holds me accountable. I need somebody who is there with me and sees my blind spots and guides me through them. And that's what I'm going to do. And I also want to offer to other women again, because the past years, Bas and I, we have been, you know, focusing a lot on the relationship work, and such important work. And I love to still do this work. It's just so beautiful to, you know, support couples in, you know, finding their way back home to the love again, and to their connection and to their intimacy. But in the end, it all starts with us, right? And I really feel like also Bas feels the calling. It's so funny that we have that simultaneously. He feels the calling to do more with men, like really men's work. Because we see that so often happen also with couples, that there's this lack of, you know, for both genders, when we're talking in binary genders, or heterosexual couples, that women are having the lack of this deep sisterhood, and men this, you know, like real deep connection to the masculinity. And we're not talking about these classical, you know, stereotypical polarity coaching stereotypes that you see right now everywhere. They are not what we're teaching. This is not what we're, you know, what we're standing for, because we do believe that every human being has both masculine and feminine energy within. It's just the quality of of energy, and it has nothing to do with gender. But of course, it is important if you do identify as a woman or a man, that you really have a place where you can deepen this energy and really explore what it means for you to be a woman, what it means for you to be a man. And so, yeah, we both are planning some beautiful work in men's and women's work for next year. Yeah, I can't wait to do that again, to really hold the space for you, to really be there with you, to hold you in the dark moments, not to just, you know, kind of superficially be there and teach something and then leave again, but to really go deep and get to the core of things, rather than just kind of, you know, have such nice teaching, okay, that's it, solve it yourself, but really go with people there and to really be the soul initiator for people, and to go through this birthing process with them, and hold the space and witness the process. And this is really the work that I'm deeply craving to do, and also being held myself while doing it for myself, because I know that we all need it. After these years, we definitely all need it in one way or the other. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And my program is, the working title right now is Wild Sacred Woman. It's a half-year program. If you feel already drawn to that, it's not everything set up. The website is not existent yet, but I have some information for you. So if you feel drawn to that, please just reach out to me, or reach out to Bas if you're a man and feel like, oh, men's work sounds amazing, because we're cooking up something really beautiful there. And I need that for myself, but I also feel really deeply called to, yeah, to step up in this area and to be this soul initiator that I came here to be. So yeah, that's my thoughts and my truth at the moment. And if I'm going to post this ever, let me know if you are resonating with something that we've just shared. I'm so used to talk together with Bas that I say we automatically, but what I have just shared here, yeah, and how you have been dealing with everything has been going down since 2020, and how you're dealing with all of these energies. And I'm just curious to hear what you have to say and what your take on this is. Okay, my love, sending so much love your way. Thank you for being here and having listened to me for 17, almost 18 minutes. So much love, and yeah, thank you for being here with me.